Welcome to today's episode of the Big C Show. I am your host, Big C's, with my co-host, the one and only JP. JP, how are you, man?
Good, Mr. Big C's. How we doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Man, we got a great episode today. I can't wait to talk to Lauren here. But before we do, let's tell everybody what this episode, who is it brought to you by?
We've got our sponsor. This episode of the Big C Show is proudly sponsored by iTix Now. If you're thinking about going to a game, concert, or live event, iTix Now makes it simple and safe. Real fans selling real tickets with verified listings and no sketchy screenshots. Fast, easy, and trusted. Check out itixnow.com for secure fan-to-fan tickets and support the show. Real fans, real tickets, real fast.
And the QR code is on the corner right there. So if you guys want to go to the website and register, and guess what? Not only are they good for Panther tickets, they're also good for Inter Miami games and Miami Marlins. So go get your
Real
tickets
undefeated.
now. If you guys want to go see Messi on a soccer game before they open up their new stadium, visit iTix Now.
That's right.
Awesome. Great. So tonight, we go inside the lens with someone who captures a moment we all celebrate, but rarely get to see from her point of view. She is an award-winning sports photographer that has photographed some incredible moments in sports, including the historic run by yours truly, the Florida Panthers, and has built a reputation of telling powerful stories through her camera. Tonight, we talk about her journey, her passion of photography, and what it's like being there when history happens. Let's welcome Lauren Sopourn to the Big C Show. Lauren, how are you doing today? Welcome to the Big C Show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you. We got to give you an applause. You've been through such an incredible one these last 3 years. But before we talk about your run and those magical moments you captured with us all, let's get to know who Lauren is. For those of you who don't know who Lauren is, Lauren, can you tell us who are you? Where are you from? Where did you come from? Tell us a little bit about your life.
Yeah, a little bit about me. So my name's Lauren. I'm a sports photographer. I work with the Panthers and the Dolphins, primarily doing sports coverage. A little bit about me. I grew up in Coral Springs, Florida, born and raised.
Cool.
Started getting into photography at a really young age. I was probably 7 or 8, and it was when my little brother was born. And I just picked up like the family DSLR because I thought he was the cutest little pudgy baby. So just like that was like my first experience with photography, just picking up the family camera, taking pictures of his belly and his hands and his feet, because babies are adorable, and when you're 7 years old you're like, oh my gosh, little brother. So that was kind of like my first introduction to photography, was at about 7 years old.
That's awesome. JP?
Yeah. So what made you want to get into sports photography specifically?
So I grew up loving sports, played sports K through 12. Pretty much I played soccer my whole life. And soccer my whole life. In the 9th grade, at the second soccer practice of the season, I ended up tearing my ACL and meniscus. So as Panthers fans, we're very familiar with ACL injuries at the moment.
Unfortunately, let's yeah. So you and Barkov have something in common now.
Right. We're both ACL surgery buddies.
There we go.
So yeah, second practice of the season, and like I said, I've been growing up my whole life playing soccer, and I was like, I really don't want to be sidelined. I want to be a part of the action. I still want to be a part of the team and cheering them on. So I picked up my camera. I photographed that season for my team, and I just kind of fell in love with sports photography at that moment. But also, like, I played soccer through the rest of high school as well. So my
I was gonna
senior
ask.
year, yeah,
I
the
was
rest of high school,
cool.
yeah, the rest of high school, and then my senior year, I ended up tearing my other ACL. So
Okay, I think we I think we found the perfect career for you, Lauren.
right, right. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should hang up my
Oh man.
cleats and keep picking up the camera. So that's what I did from there, and I just continued since then. Yeah.
And talk about you playing sports and that camaraderie you had with your teammates and being inside the locker room on the field, and talk about that moment that once you got injured and you weren't with your teammates, but now you're a photographer, you're doing photographs now.
Yeah.
Talk about how that helped you just come become part of the game still.
Yeah, I think for me, it was challenging because like you want to be there for your teammates, and finding that outlet through photography that allowed me to keep being a part of the team was really important for me, especially in high school, when everybody's like on a team together. And for me, it was just like you said, just being able to continue to be a part of it and being an integral member of the team. Like my friends would post them on social media, and it would be a way to document that moment that they were having for themselves. So that was really like it like pushed me to realize like photography is so important, because I like to call myself a moment historian. That's kind of like what I say is I'm capturing those moments and memorializing them for people for the years to come.
That's amazing. And for you to still do what you love, like being around the game,
Mhm.
knowing that you're not going to become a professional, but you became a professional in something you love and you're still a part of the game is truly incredible.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I started taking photography classes in high school. Like right after I got injured, I started taking classes at Taravella High School. I started taking classes at Coral Springs Museum of Art. And that's when I really started to take it
Wow.
more seriously, because I mean, when I was a kid, my first camera was like a little pink Olympus point and shoot that was like this big. And then I got like my big boy camera, like a DSLR, and it was a Rebel T3. It was my first camera. I was so excited, and you have to learn everything like the ISO, shutter speed, like all the manual settings that aren't just click the button on auto. So that was really what inspired me to learn more about photography and not just snapping away and pointing and shoot, but really learn how to be creative, how to be artsy. I'll never forget like my first class at Taravella, we had like outings. So like you could go and it was like a field trip, and we went to downtown Fort Lauderdale at night to do landscapes. And the first
Oh, wow.
it was great. It was so much fun. And the first feedback that I got from a like any teacher or professor on my work was, you have an eye for this. And that really has stuck with me throughout my career, cuz like you never like teachers don't know like the impact they're going to have on a student and what their words say, and like
No,
that is the first feedback that I had has stuck with me my whole career.
that's incredible. And I could definitely attest to that. Heimo Greenfield was a big, huge advocate for me in
Mm,
high school when I was in ninth grade. And he was always there to support me. And he's like, you know what? You know football. You're very knowledgeable of the game. He's
mhm,
the one who contacted the coaches,
mhm,
got them to get me to be on the staff and be part of the team. So, it's really incredible to hear what big of an impact our teachers have in this world,
mhm.
and they're really underappreciated at times. I feel like they're underpaid as well. But
Yeah,
that's a whole nother can of worms we could talk into, but we don't want to get into. But
seriously.
yeah, the teachers in general are such a big advocate for us. And there's
Mhm.
always that one teacher you'll always remember that's always supporting you. So that's really great to hear, Lauren, that one teacher pushed you to where you're at now.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it's kind of like full circle, like being able to, after finishing college, I actually went back and taught a class for a period of time at Coral Springs Museum of Art. So where I first learned is where I got to teach as well. So it was kind of like that full circle moment for me, which was really special.
And do you still talk to this teacher? Have you talked to this teacher after?
Yeah, I keep in contact with him. I invited him to my opening, but he's not available. But yeah, we still keep in contact.
And fun fact, me and my former teacher are best friends now. We ended
Oh,
up becoming season ticket owners. In fact, he and I were, or I was season ticket owners for the first time ever with him
oh,
after I graduated high school. So we got to share that moment of being season ticket owners for 2 years, and we're best friends. We talk to each other every day. Uh,
wow.
During the games, we watch the games together. We give each other shit all the time. So um, we're
I love
best friends, and he's like a father figure to me, and I really appreciate his love. So want to shout out to Heimel, who's in the chat here too. So I know he's watching. Always
it.
a supportive
That's
person.
so
So
special. So special.
JP,
Yeah. Um, so let's see here. Do we want to talk about the journey?
let's go into the journey. Yeah, let's.
Yeah. So, what was like one of the first big challenges you had when you got into sports photography?
Good question.
First big challenge is just learning that it's okay to fail. Honestly, like
Yes,
knowing that it's
I love
okay
that.
to just try something, and if it works,
Mhm.
amazing, you look like a genius, but if it doesn't, you can try again.
Yeah.
And I think like for me, like all 4 years of college, I volunteered and I was a part of FAU's athletic marketing department, and I covered all of their sports, everything from men's and women's basketball, football, swimming and diving, volleyball, beach volleyball, like every sport under the sun that we had, I was given the opportunity to cover. So that was really an opportunity for me to experiment, because not every game is super high pressure. Of course, you want to have good content to get to every student athlete, but it's like you have the opportunity in the room to grow as a college student. So for me, like learning that it was okay to fail was, I mean, like as a freshman in college, you're like, oh, I want to be the best. I want,
Right.
like
Or
you
even as an athlete, right? You want to
right,
be the best, and like sometimes you're afraid to fail your teammates or your coaches, or but sometimes failure does help us become better at what we want to do.
100%. And I mean, like when I started at FAU, my freshman year, I was out with my newspaper. So I was with the University Press for a couple months, like maybe like a month ish. And that's when I first started realizing networking was so important in this industry, and like just being a genuine human, like being kind, like always be kind, but like just like
Mhm.
making connections. And so I started tagging like FAU football on my Instagram, thinking, oh, whatever, it's just, I'm just tagging them. And I remember I was on my way into a football game, and so for reference, I'm 5'3", and Ryan, the guy I'm about to talk about, is 6'3", so a little bit taller than me. He taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Are you that L Sopourn girl on Instagram?" I'm like, "Who are you?" Like, what's going on? And I got poached from the newspaper to work with our athletic marketing department. He was like, "I really like your work. Like, let's collaborate." And so I went in for an interview, and he was like, "We don't really take freshmen on. Like, that's not something that we normally do." I'm like, "But listen, Ryan, I'm not your average freshman. I promise." Like, I'm not your, and of course, every
Oh
freshman
no.
probably says that. But like, I took my career seriously since first year of college, because I really knew that building your portfolio early is the only way that you're going to be able to progress in the
Yep.
career. And yeah, so it was a blessing to be able to get in that early with my athletic department.
Now talk like being involved with the athletic department now, you're getting to like do something you love, but in the school, were you going to FIU, or this just you were just covering FIU sports in general?
So I went FAU. I went to FAU, and I
Okay.
was covering all their sports.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I
So
was pursuing my Bachelor of Fine Arts in photography. So my degree is actually a photography degree.
perfect. Awesome. So what was your like I guess your biggest welcome to the big leagues moment?
Welcome to the big leagues. Okay, so this story is kind of fun. So we had an FAU football player, actually two of them, try out for Dolphins training camp. It was Gregory Buddy Howell and Greg Joseph. They're actually both Super Bowl champions now, which is kind of crazy.
That's
Uh,
crazy. That's awesome.
So cool. So I reached out to the Dolphins communications director, like an email on a whim, like, hey, I'm a local student. I was a sophomore at the time. I'm a local student. I'd love to come out and photograph training camp because we have two guys trying out. And in the media world, you don't just get a credential. Like you have to have an express purpose. You have to either be with like Getty or with the team. Like they don't just give out credentials to anybody. There has to be an express purpose. And he was like, you know what, you're a student. Like we'll say they gave me access. They gave me a yes. And I went out there and I took that opportunity to introduce myself to the team photographer because how often do you get to go on the field? And he was like, yeah, like I showed him my Instagram, like this is my year in school, this is what's going on. And he was like, you know, you don't really have the gear to be in the NFL right now, but like your work is great. I would say continue to like, if you want to pursue this, you have to decide like if you want to invest in this gear. And fun fact about photography equipment, it is not inexpensive.
Yes.
Very, very expensive. So for reference, the lens that is like the lens to get into sports is a 400 millimeter lens. It's like the big one. It looks like a literal telescope. And it costs upwards of 10 grand for reference also.
Wow.
So it's a huge monetary investment. So at that point in my career, that was like, do I really want to pursue this full time? Because not only is it a time investment, but it's a huge financial investment.
Yes.
So obviously,
especially you being a student, right? You're just like,
yeah,
getting $10,000 is not no easy task, right?
exactly. So I worked, I was, I was really thinking about it. Like, I really want to pursue sports, so I have to figure out how to make this work. So I talked to my parents, I talked to my grandparents, I worked, and we found a way to get it done. And we had another player try out a year later. I had gotten the lens. I'm like, look at my pretty new expensive lens. Look, I invested in myself. And at that point, he's like, would you like to join our freelance team? And here we are 8 years
Oh, man.
later.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you got that lens, were you like afraid to pick it up? I mean,
Literally. I was like, I'm
$10,000.
going to break it. I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to damage it. It's like your baby, like your $10,000 baby. It's crazy. But no, it was just so surreal to see like, and this is something that I've seen in my career time and time again. When I bet on myself,
Yeah.
I always see a fruit in that labor.
100%. Here's an interesting question from diehard Josh. If you break the camera or it doesn't work, or do they give you a new one, or do you have to purchase a new one? I think you have to purchase a new one, right, Lauren?
Yeah, I have insurance.
Oh, okay, there we go.
So I have insurance on the equipment. Thank goodness. So if anything were to happen, then obviously within reason, then it would be covered.
I think with it's well known in photography that if you have a very expensive setup, you have a second very expensive setup in a backpack right nearby. Is that true?
Not that lens.
Okay, so maybe not that lens, but like say you're,
I mean, like there is a little bit of redundancy. Like, so for example, right. I have a 16 to 35 millimeter lens, and I also have a 24 to 70, and there's a little bit of overlap, so I could get away with one, not the other. But I mean, I have 5 cameras, and I have 2 hanging in the rafters. I use 3 on a game day that I carry on my person, so I have 2 hands, but I shoot on 5 bodies. So it's kind of crazy.
That's so awesome. Always have a backup with you, right?
100%. Extra batteries, extra SD cards, there's so many things that you have to keep track of.
I wish I had extra batteries just in case.
Right?
JP, we have another question in the chat, right?
Yeah. So before we started diving into the Panthers stuff, I wanted to see um, well, one of our listeners wanted to see Mr. Bench again. What year did you start with the Panthers?
So I just finished my 4th season with the Panthers. So my first
Good
season was
time.
the year we went to the Cup with Vegas. That was my
You know,
first year.
we could
Yeah.
honestly say you're the reason we've been winning.
Right? Just
I
ignore this
mean,
year, but everything else, yeah.
well, I think this year's an anomaly.
This is,
So,
this is a
Right.
I mean,
planned event.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, my first season was the year they went to the finals against Vegas. So that was, what was that,
oh,
23? I
now
think.
do you get to travel with the team, or do you just do events here?
I'm local, so I cover all the home games and all of their events that happen here.
Awesome.
I was going to say it was probably impossible to get a shot at Chucky when he beat the Hurricanes in that
Yes.
overtime game. Like trying to get a picture of Chucky when he's running to the locker room
Oh
and
my
telling
God.
everybody to go with him.
Right. Literally crazy. It's like, we're done. It's over. Please.
Get out.
So, what was that moment like when you ended up being the photographer for the Florida Panthers? Especially the first year they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. Such a historic era. And then we'll talk about here in the next couple minutes, the last 2 years. But
Mhm.
that first year, talk about your experience, your first year covering the Panthers. It must have been like an wow, I made it moment here.
100%. I mean, I started working with the Panthers. Like I said, like when you bet on yourself, like you see rewards. So I started working with the Panthers because I sent a LinkedIn message to their creative department just saying, hey, I'm a local photographer. I'd love to work with you guys. And had an interview, and the rest was history. So that first game I photographed, it was like I had covered a few hockey related events previously, like FAU Ice Hockey Club, but nowhere near the NHL, obviously. And what I love so much about hockey compared to other sports is you are right there with the fans. Like there is no like okay, basketball for example, there's some people on the court side, but football fans feel like a million miles away when you're on the field. But with hockey, like you're at a photo hole on ice level and you've got a little kid banging over your head, "Hey, can I get a puck? Can I get a puck?" And it's like it's such a cool thing. So for me, like the first thing that made me fall in love with hockey was the fan base and just being around. I remember actually the first time that a fan got a puck and the player gave him the puck through the photo hole and handed it to him. The little kid like starts like crying tears of joy.
It's the
And
best.
it's just so wholesome, and like so many people go for like their birthdays and events, and it just means the world to them, and it's so special to get to capture those moments.
It's awesome. And here's some of your work that I'm sharing on your website. Uh, I mean, just incredible work. It's truly amazing the photos you capture. And looking back on these pictures, is there any moment that stands out to you?
Any moment that stands out to me. Okay, so there's one, if you stop scrolling on the bottom, the second from the right. So this young fan, his name is Alex. I usually
Oh
sit,
my gosh.
I'm sure
He's
you've met.
he's incredible. Man, that kid, him and that I believe the other kid, the muscle kid, used to
Yeah.
always take his shirt off and they used to show their muscles.
Uh-huh. So their family sits like 3 rows off the glass at 105, and that's predominantly where I shoot on ice level position. So like I said, like with hockey, like fans are all around you. And I've gotten to know them and talk to them because across 4 seasons, you build relationships and friendships with these people. And I remember I was shooting on ice level after the second Stanley Cup, and I see his head peep out, and every other photographer is focusing on the player raising the cup, and of course those moments are so important, but part of the Stanley Cup is the fans getting to lift you up with them, and him raising his little styrofoam Stanley Cup with the player, and he's in focus. It just really, for me, that narrative is so important because it's just showing how the community is so involved and invested in a part and an integral part of this team.
And it was such a perfect caption right there. I mean, like they say, pictures are worth 1,000 words. I think this picture is worth millions of words. It just for you to capture the Stanley Cup, the real Stanley Cup, with his Stanley Cup is incredible. Um, have you got to show him this picture?
I have. Their family is so sweet, and they're going to be coming to my opening, and they're going to see it. This is actually a
Let's
part that's going to be
go.
hanging on the wall, and it's so special.
That's awesome. Um,
Right.
wow, what a special moment that was, and I'm sure that he truly appreciates you, especially capturing that moment uh, that you did, JP.
Yeah. When I was looking through your work when we figured out that we were doing this, I came across a picture of Sergei Bobrovsky,
Mm-hmm.
and your I sent the link over to you. See,
Okay, yeah,
that is one of the coldest photos I've ever seen of a goalie. It's so cool, black and white, strutting down the. Oh my god. So like, is that just you're on the ice waiting for them to come out? Is it during its introductions, right?
Yeah, so actually, I think that photo was taken when they were coming out after
Yeah.
first intermission, and that was actually taken from 100 level. So one of the things that I
Wow.
do with my
wow,
photography a lot
literally
is,
from the 100th level.
yeah, literally,
Looks like you were like right next to where they sing the national anthem and just came
Yeah,
right out.
literally.
incredible. That's
It's
crazy.
one of the things I really enjoy is like I say victory loves preparation, right? And treat every event like it's a championship with that same mentality. And part of the reason I come to games so early is because I'm scouting out different places to see different angles, making sure I have my equipment so I can mess around with things. So I think this is taken from section 117, and I just have straight on with that 400 millimeter lens again. um, and just really getting to be intentional with it, like be really intentional with the moments.
And the athletic side of you is a perfect example of what you did there. Preparing for your opponent, right? You're preparing
Mhm.
for the game. And I
Right.
think that goes into like you being an athlete, you trying to prepare for your photograph sessions.
Mm-hmm.
That goes to like show you like how passionate you are and how much you care about doing this. You just don't want to take a picture. You want to make sure it's the best picture and it tells a lot of it. It tells a lot.
100%. I feel like one of the things that, in back to college, one of the things that my professors, because I had a fine arts degree, so fine arts and sports don't really, they're not usually coinciding. And one of the things that my professors really encouraged me to do is like try to look at sports with a fine art lens. Like, how can you take this and put it into what you want to do full time so that you can set yourself apart, right? So majority of sports photographers are there just to document the moment and just show up, take the photos, and get what happens. So we're reacting to what other people are doing and taking photos, but it's also, like you said, like that preparation point that it continues to make me want to be creative, to try different things, like, oh, I saw this, oh, I saw that, maybe I could try this, maybe this will work, maybe it doesn't. And that's just what I love so much about hockey is there's so much opportunity to experiment and try different things.
What is your favorite event to? I know you did the Miami Dolphins,
Mm-hmm.
capturing football, but ultimately, what is your favorite sport to capture?
I can't say. I work for two teams and I love both teams equally for different reasons.
There we
But
go. That's a good answer.
I'll say this. One of the things I like about football is its natural light. So there's that key aspect, like especially in Dolphin Stadium, you get those harsh shadows, which is really fun to work and challenging. And in Panthers, it's that steady light. So each thing gives a different challenge and different ways to do it. But I will say one of my favorite events I get to cover every year is the Dolphins Fight Cancer Challenge.
Ah,
Um, And I've been doing it every year since I started with the Dolphins, minus 1 year I woke up with 102 fever. I woke up at like 4 a.m. I'm like, I'm dying. I'm so sorry. I wish I could be
He,
there.
Lauren can even be on the injured list, guys, even as a photographer.
That is, fun fact, the one and only event I've ever called out of in my entire career.
Oh man,
Yeah,
do you know Big E from the Miami
of course.
Dolphins? A big fan or the big Dolphin fan?
Of course.
Such an incredible person. I haven't met him yet. I know he's been to a few Panther games, but I know that's a big event that he likes to go to. And for those of you who don't know Big E, he's a big, huge Miami Dolphins super fan who's battling cancer right now. And he's such a great person, amazing human being, and just wanted to give him a shout out. But yeah, working for the Florida Panthers during the Stanley Cup run, what was it like being behind the scenes?
Crazy. Just like a whirlwind, I gotta say. Like, being, because like it's back to back to back. So even though I don't travel with the team, I was still covering every watch party. So it was literally like every day, like, and that was also a great opportunity to just like meet the fans and really see like the do or die, like this is my team kind of fans. But it's unmatched. Like, genuinely, I mean, our first Stanley Cup winning in Game 7, like it on the 30th anniversary season, it just felt like such a Cinderella story. Um, and it was just such a blessing. I mean, like, being there for the games, getting to see them lift the trophy twice at home.
Oh,
It's just
incredible.
being in the room where that happened, like getting to capture the fans, getting to capture the players, getting to just experience it. Like, I remember the first time we won the cup, I was in photo position and it was like, I want to say like 10 seconds left in the third period, and we were up and they were burying the puck in the corner, and we were like seeing, okay, are they gonna get it loose? Are they gonna score? And I always remember, like, okay, this is your moment to be excited for like 0.3 seconds, and then it's go time. Like, you have to completely lock in, like, because that's one thing about being a sports photographer. This is my team. I love them. I'm excited for them, but you have to be on the ball. Like, you can't like have that moment of like the excitement right then and there. You have to be like, okay, I'm getting this. This is happening. What's going on? And you have to like continue going. So at this moment, I love this moment.
I
Ryan
mean,
Lomberg.
I was gonna say there is not another person that could capture Ryan Lomberg's hair so freaking perfectly. I mean, holy
Crazy.
crap, this is amazing.
The raw emotion. What a guy. I mean, just hair
It
is
looks like
straight
Hades.
Right?
crazy. Crazy. No, it
I,
was so
No,
special.
that explains why Connor McDavid was staying still next to the net during that scrum because he was waiting for his photo.
It's
that
true.
makes sense.
Makes sense. Just crazy. I mean, that first cup, it was like, wow, that just happened. And like the fans
I
like leaving the stadium, it was so special.
I couldn't believe it either. It was just one of those, like, because with my story, with me battling with cancer the year before
Yeah.
and just being in a coma, and then just all of a sudden we were Stanley Cup champions, and the raw moment crying with my best friend, uh, just seeing these pictures bring back so much memories, and just witnessing Bob, such a great ambassador for the community, such a great person. You know how hard he works, and look at the fans there. This is what it's all about, and for you to capture this moment must have been like a dream come true.
It was so surreal. I mean, I've like I said, I grew up in Coral Springs my whole life, so I've always been a Florida Panthers fan. Like, this is my home team. I live 10 minutes from the arena. So being able to work with them was already a dream, and then being able to capture their first franchise Stanley Cup was a dream, and then the second Stanley Cup, I was like, am I ever going to wake up? Like, this is crazy. This is just so so it's such a time to be a part of the organization too. Like, everybody is just so unique and so great. Like I love working with this organization top to bottom. Like everybody is so kind and like supportive and uplifting to the community. And, you know, it's just, I've loved hockey my whole life. So it's just amazing.
It is. And shouts out to the Benny Viola family. Like the way they brought this program, it's family first. And,
Mhm.
they literally treat everybody like they're one of theirs. And
Yeah.
I think that's really important, especially when you're building a championship franchise. And we all see that. And, especially with moments like this is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
When players go after the games and they give the stick to the kids that are up on either their parents' shoulders or, you know, rolling out of the arena and seeing those kids' smiles. Smiles are worth 1,000 words. And, when you capture this, it must mean a lot to you as well.
It does. I mean, like this picture in particular is probably one of my favorites I've ever taken, just because like the Reinhardt jersey, he's wearing it backwards, and Reinhardt's going up to him. It's like like that's his favorite player, and his parents bought him that jersey, and he turned it around and praying and hoping that Reinhardt would come up to him, and then he does, and it's like the culmination of the whole thing, like a win, and then it all just comes together. And like I said, like the fans are such a great part of the community. Like one of my favorite things after winning the cup, I've photographed many, many cup days, right? So whether it's community or our corporate sponsors or our season ticket holders or our veterans, and they all get the opportunity to spend time with the cup. And one of the things that I cherish most about being the photographer is I get to capture the moments that people are going to hold on to a lifetime. Like I'm going to show my coworker, I'm going to show my mom, I'm going to show my grandparent. These are pictures that people are going to be like, look, it's me when the Panthers won the cup in this year and when they won in this year. And for me, that is just so special that I got to be a part of capturing those moments that people are going to tell for a long time. Like
No,
babies in the cup, babies in the cup. Come on, that's amazing.
oh my gosh. Were you there when you photographed Luongo with the pasta?
I was not with the pasta.
Oh,
No.
that would have been genuine.
Oh.
Real quick, there's this picture that I just saw that captured my eyes.
Captured everybody's eyes.
Matthew Tkachuk and the star sunglasses. I mean,
Iconic,
right? What a great person. What a great human being. The family's incredible. Today you were at the Palm Beach event, right?
Correct.
Talk about what they, with Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk celebrating the Team USA win. Talk about how they've been to you and to the fans.
Amazing. Nothing short of amazing. I mean, I was at Club 11 after they came back and got to cover that championship celebration. And like the fans that were there, just like everybody just celebrating together, and then being there today, everybody showing up in their USA. And it was just like so thoughtful and kind and engaging. And they're just together having a good time and celebrating. There's nothing better than that.
That's incredible. JP.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you a technical question. So
I love it.
The amount, so when you're culling your photos,
Yes.
what percentage ends up in the waste heap?
Okay,
that's
so
that's interesting.
For perspective, I take a lot of pictures.
Most good photographers do.
A lot of photos. So imagine when you're shooting one play, I'm shooting at 1/2000th plus of a second. So I'm holding down the shutter as the goal is going in. You could literally create a GIF of the whole succession or a video of the whole succession. And I'm usually picking of those, say 100 photos from a play, 2.
Yeah.
So it's really, I've gotten pretty fast at it. But I would
How
say,
do you go about picking the right one?
I think that that's just the years of experience. I'll say like I mentor some young female photographers, and teaching that, like, you have to have an eye for it for one, but teaching it is also like, okay, like for example with football, you want the moment right before the ball's getting in the hands, right when they catch it, and then maybe as they're running, but not like if the ball's half in frame, or if it's kind of sliding down the fingers weird, if the leg movement's a little off. Like, it's a matter of like that peak moment, capturing like the peak action, not like the little before, the little after, because that doesn't tell the narrative as strongly as like the, you know, or the puck shooting right off the edge of the stick, or it hitting the back of the neck and then, you know, the net, and then putting up their fist, or, you know, whatever they're doing to celebrate. So it's that peak moment. But for any game, I mean, from the Stanley Cup, I delivered like, I think 2,000 photos. Like, it was so many deliverables. But at any given game, it's a couple hundred.
All right. So I'll take one out of every 500 is
That's
deliverable.
unfair.
And
That
no, I
sounds
was
fair.
going to say, yeah. All right. It's a lot of work. I've seen it in
That
action.
is.
It's a lot of work.
Now, what goes through the editing phase? You have a computer? Do you have a special program that you do the editing? And what do you have? Where do these ideas come from? Especially with some of the graphics that you have on your portfolio, where I think there's one that's, I think it was the first one in here that's really telling, and I love it, and I'm going to share it here.
Yeah, show me.
This one, just it looks like raindrops or ice drops on the glass. Is that special effects, or is that actually real raindrops?
That's all in camera. Water. Everything I do is in camera.
Incredible.
It was a moment, the play right before, the guys were like stopping short and they sprayed all the ice up onto the glass in front of me. And then it's just a matter of focusing on that pane of glass instead of the players behind them. So the foreground instead of the background. In my editing process, I use Lightroom. A lot of photographers use Lightroom. I use Photo Mechanic to cull, so to go through everything and make my selects. I have a preset that I use, that I developed, but I also change it based upon the lighting, based upon where it is. Yeah.
That's incredible. JP?
Yeah. So let's see here.
Let's go into her award winnings.
Yeah. So can you tell me about the first award you had as a photographer?
The first award I had as a photographer was, I think it was World Sports Photography Awards, and it was for football. It was a feature. And oh no, I'm remembering. It was Minka Fitzpatrick, number 29, who doesn't play for us anymore at the Dolphins.
I think he got traded again, right? The first time he got traded, now he got traded again.
Okay. One of the first players to ever be traded twice by the same team, by the way.
Oh, interesting nugget there.
And it was just like him coming out of the tunnel with the smoke, and that was like my first photo that I ever won an award for. But I mean, since then I've won awards for hockey and football, World Sports Photography Awards, Pro Football Hall of Fame 3 times, which is crazy to think about. I mean, that's probably one of the toughest photography competitions in the country, genuinely. So to be able to be picked for that, not once but 3 times, was just so surreal. And yeah, and then also like now, like I've been winning some awards just for like not just my photography, but me as like a leader, as a that's a great one. Me as a leader.
That isn't Minka Fitzpatrick, but no. I mean that's just like an example of what you were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, just like that smoke, that moment, and you know, being recognized for the impact I'm making in the community too, and helping young female photographers. It's really special. I most recently was selected as an honoree for the South Florida Business and Wealth Prestigious Women Award. I was an honoree.
Wow. And what does that reward entail of?
So I get to go to it's just basically highlighting like the women who are making the most impact in the South Florida market in business, and so I'll get to go to a reception, and it's special to be honored in that way.
You definitely deserve it, and so much more. Congratulations. That's That's
Thank
such an
you.
awesome praise.
Yeah. And
Um,
then the other award I won was the Broward Cultural Division Artist Support Grant, which is how I'm able to host my upcoming gallery opening.
oh man, we got to talk about your gallery opening. Um, talk about it. It's coming a week from now, right? It'll be a week from Wednesday,
Yep, April 8th.
April 8th, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about what it's going to be entailing of. What is it about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the gallery opening is, like you said, April 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. It's at the Sunrise Civic Center Art Gallery. It is going to be a party, essentially. That's the vibe I'm going for, is having the fans come back out. It showcases the last 2 years of the Stanley Cups, and I picked 25 photos that I thought best highlighted. It's kind of hard to pick of all those thousands of photos, but the 25 best photos, metal prints on the walls, and there's going to be Stanley's making an appearance. DJ Genesis is going to be bringing the vibes. We're gonna have a raffle. That was why I went to the signing earlier. One of the prints that's in the show is actually
Oh,
is signed by Kachuk and is going
there
to
we
be
go.
off. There's also lots of fun and stuff like a Barkov signed puck. There's gift cards from the iconic Elbow Room where we go to celebrate after we win cups. And different local restaurants. So yeah, that's the invite. And all of the proceeds from the raffle are going to be going to the Florida Panthers Foundation. So that's really special for me to be able to bring the community together again to celebrate this and really make it a community event and also give back to the organization. It's just so special for me to be able to host this and bring the community back together once again to celebrate the Cats.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome event, and I can't wait to be there and help you with this. So Panther fans, be sure to RSVP. I will be sharing it in my Instagram. Go on Lauren's Instagram. She'll be posting it as well. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be so much fun, and I know there's going to be a lot of Panther fans. And even if you're not a Panther fan, if you're a sports fan in general, or a photographer that wants to learn and wants to contact and communicate with you, what a great opportunity to come and enjoy this with you.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have you there and be a part of you hosting it with me, and it's really going to be such a special event because I mean, I see you're such an important part of the Panthers community. I mean, people
Oh,
see you and
thank
they
you.
smile and they know you and they're just it's so special.
Thank you so much for, thinking of me as well, being able to share a lot of these moments with you too, going to the Caneswear events or even like the events that you take a picture with the cup at the arena. You're always genuine and, you do so much for our Panther community, and to be able to help you share something for you and for everybody else is truly an honor. And I can't wait to be there with you. And
Mm.
it's definitely going to be a party. So make sure everybody RSVP and show up for sure.
It, it'll be a vibe. I mean, it's
And
gonna
if you
be.
want one of these portraits, great opportunity to get a raffle, goes for a great cause. So, you know, go out and get one of Lauren's famous pieces.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really excited. I mean, the raffle just keeps growing and growing. Like we're gonna be having like Runway 84 play, Vicky Bakery, which plays at Guitar Hotel. Um, Line Change Co. is going to be donating a bunch, like an apparel set. Caneswear is going to be donating. So there's going to be something there for everyone.
Oh, Big Chief, he's gonna be there. Let's go! Awesome.
Can't wait to see you.
I love it. I love it. JP.
All right. So, when you put the camera down, what do we do to kind of separate ourselves from our profession? I guess is the best way to put it.
You know, a good one is sleep. I mean, sleeping is so great when I get it. It's amazing.
I was gonna say, speaking like a true athlete.
I love my sleep. I value my sleep. But no, I mean, outside of hockey, like spending time with family, spending time with friends, getting to enjoy some of my other hobbies. I write a lot. That's another creative outlet that I like to express myself, is writing. So
Oh
getting to
wow.
just getting to, and also, like, I feel like stepping away from photography for me is like I'm always looking at different things and things I want to try and explore. So for me, it's like it's such a part of who I am and what I do. um I love it. It doesn't ever feel like, oh, I need to put it down, or oh,
Right.
I just break from that, because what you know what they say, when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
What
Fair enough.
is what separates you from the people who are quiet?
Hmm. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for me?
Like like for example, you've gone far and above and beyond to get into where you're at,
Mhm.
where you went out on LinkedIn and contacted the Florida Panthers. You
Right.
went out to contact FIU to get that gig. Like, what separates you from that confidence that you have from everybody else?
I think, like I said, it's just the preparation, believing in yourself, betting on yourself. Like literally, I every time I bet on myself, I've seen that fruit. And you have to put yourself out there. I can tell you, I've gotten a lot more no's than I've gotten yeses, but it's like also that mentality of not being afraid to fail. Like, you're going to get rejection is inevitable, it's going to be there, but you're going to get yeses, and doors are going to open in the right places if you're persistent and you believe in yourself. Like, I know the quality of my work, I know what I bring, I know, like, I'm putting 110% into my work, and the right people are going to see that.
That's great. What advice would you give someone who wants to go into sports photography?
I would say the advice I would give is say yes to opportunities. Like, if you're given a chance to, even if it's like, oh, your local high school wants pictures and it's one student that wants photos, say yes. Say yes. You
Mhm.
never know what one relationship and one opportunity is going to, you're going to build your portfolio, you're going to talk to new people, and then show up consistently, show up early, be ready, and like always be professional in everything you do. And I feel like there's no single path in sports photography. It's step by step. Like for me, it was a player from FAU tried out for Dolphins, and it's like this whole slew of string of events, and every photographer who I've talked to, his story is different. So bet on yourself, show up, be professional, and say yes.
Great, great. So now we're going to get into Big C's quick hitters.
Hut,
Oh,
hut, hike!
Where's that
So these
crowd?
are going to be real quick answers, all right? So you don't whatever comes to mind. First thing that comes up to mind.
all right, ready.
Favorite Florida Panther player to photograph?
Bob.
One word to describe the Stanley Cup experience.
Insane.
Favorite arena atmosphere or
Full
stadium?
Our stadium, full stands, so like everybody yelling.
Nice.
Favorite band to listen to while you're editing photos.
The home team, ironically, the name of my show.
Night games or day events?
Night games.
Coffee, tea, or energy drinks.
Coffee, 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 and more coffee.
Coffee.
Cafe con leche at Vicky Bakery. That's
Yes.
my-
Oh my
that's-
gosh. Have to have it. Last one. If you could photograph any championship in any sport besides the Panthers, let's take away from hockey, any other sport, what would it be?
probably the Super Bowl. Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be in the near future. Hopefully, you get an opportunity to do that. And Oh my God, Lauren, it was such a pleasure having you. You're such an incredible person. Your confidence is truly through the roof. Keep being confident in yourself. That's what's brought you to where you're at. And before I let you go, what has sports brought to you? How has sports made you the person that you are today?
Sports has brought to me so much, just so community. I mean, my family is season ticket holders, so like having my family around, having these fans and friends that I now call family, like the community and the that aspect of it is priceless to me. That's really what's so, it makes me, it's like you said, you never work a day in your life. It's being there with everybody. I love going to the arena. I do my little lap around the bottom and see all the fans that are there, and get to say hello, give them hugs, take pictures of them with their homemade signs. It's just, it's
Which
amazing.
is your favorite sign that you saw that you remember? Because I literally I find it interesting how these people are so creative, these fans, of
So great.
just like having these captions, and you're just like, wow, how did you think of that?
I'm trying to think of a sign that's like, there's those like groups of fans that just bring different things every single time. I'm like, how do you keep thinking of things, whether it's like a witty thing or the artwork? Like some of the artwork the fan makes, like the hand painted things, crazy. A fan showed me a hand painted sneaker set that they gave to a player the other day. I'm like, whoa, like I can take pictures. I can't paint like that. That's insane. Like just so talented. Um I don't know if there's like one sign in particular. There's one that makes me laugh every time I see it. There's one that a fan has like a cutout, and it's Sam Bennett and he's like half the Terminator. Do you know what I'm talking? Have you ever seen that one? That
Yes,
one makes me laugh every time. Um, that one's a good one.
my favorite one was I think 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. This guy brought the bridesmaid blanket
Oh,
with Matthew Kachuk, Drysidle, and McDavid. I
so
thought
funny.
that was the most epic thing I've seen in a long
Always the
time.
bridesmaids. So funny.
So great. Oh man,
Thank you
such
so
an
much for
awesome.
having me on. This was wonderful. I really enjoyed getting to share about me and get to hear a little about you guys too. And this was just wonderful. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much,
Thank
Lauren,
you,
and I
Lauren.
can't wait to see you. And for those of you, let me put up her Instagram page again, so that way you guys can follow
You follow.
Lauren at L_Sopourn, and she'll be happy that you guys follow her journey, and make sure to go to her event next week on Wednesday, which is April 8th.
Okay.
Lauren, it was a pleasure. Thank you for being a true gem. Keep that
Mm.
confidence, and I'll see you tomorrow at the Panther game.
See you at the game. Let's go, Cats.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh man, JP, that was truly incredible. Lauren is such an inspirational person in her journey. That goes to show you like hard work, dedication, passion, confidence, which I always say. He's always had confidence. And
Yep.
that's confidence goes a long ways. If you believe in yourself, you can truly do anything. And, there's never limits to anything you can do.
Especially in that industry, you have to be such a self-starter. You have to be
Oh,
you have to be your
Lord.
own boss before you're, if you're even before you're even hired by a team. You got to be the one that puts out the good portfolio on your own time before you can even
Yeah.
stand in front of a team and say, this is what I bring to the table. So good on her. And obviously she does amazing work. And man, I got to get a print of that Bobrovsky photo.
Actually, if you go to FloridaPanthers.com, she is selling some of her piece on there as well. And go to her website as well. I will put the link in the description on YouTube and on the Spotify and uh, Apple Play as well. Definitely follow
Cool.
her. I'll put her website. I'll put her social media. We really appreciate her again for coming on. JP, baseball has already started again this
Yes.
year. Let's talk a little bit about how the strike zone pitch count, how that was
Oh,
like. honestly, I want to tell you, I thought that it was incredible. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I love it.
It's I think it's probably going to be one of the best changes when we look back on this season. It's probably going to be one of the most fun changes. It is there's such a reaction from the stadium inside, and you get that instant reaction just like you do with tennis. So instead of waiting around for a ref to go under the hood and it was a ball,
I
it's
love it.
instantaneous. Yeah, literally, it's the best thing. Like we had a few examples of it. Over the weekend, we had somebody who was down. I think it was on the Reds. They were down 1-2, kept getting called strikeout, strikeout, and the batter kept challenging. It was outside every time. There we go. CB Buckner. I remember that. That's who it was.
Yeah.
When I remember the pregame show was like CB Buckner versus the ABS is going to be a record-breaking challenge number. And I believe, I don't think it got up to 6, but I think game 3 with the Yankees and Giants, the Yankees got up to 6 before they finished the game off.
And I love how it's like, if you lose it, you lose one challenge. Each team gets 2 challenges.
2.
If you win it, you get to keep it. So you keep going every time you win.
Unlike football, which is you get 2, but you get another one if you get the first one.
Which I think football, you should do it now. Like, I mean, there comes a point where like replay is everywhere now. You got cameras everywhere.
But
like it's not going to take that long.
Yeah, the way that baseball has it and the way that it's so fast and it's just, tap your head, go to the computer. Is the ump an idiot or not? Survey says.
Oh, jeez. How do you think the umps are taking this as far as the way? How do you think they feel about it?
I think there's 2 sides to the coin. I think that a lot of them were optimistic for the wrong reasons, thinking that this was going to validate, I knew that was a strike. But I think we're going to move away from umpires sooner than people expect because of this. I think the better the technology gets, the in-person umpire, it could go away. I know that's a strong union, so there's going to be jobs, but I think there has to be some sort of performance review tied to this ABS system.
Okay.
So that, like, not to pick on CB Buckner, but he was kind of the butt of the joke this weekend. He was embarrassed. That was one of the takeaways of the game: is home plate umpire embarrassed by new instant replay system. So my main takeaway is I think umpires are probably going to be scared for their job, and also there's a little bit of narcissism in there, being like, "Oh, this system's going to tell me that I'm right."
No, for sure, and there's still going to be some getting used to. I think the one thing I was afraid of maybe prolonging the game, but it hasn't been that much longer. What takes like 5-10 seconds for them to get the call right. Just I believe there's like I think several hundred cameras throughout the ballpark that captures every single movement of the player and the home plate. So in all retrospect, I think we all want what's best and we want the call right as fans, right? So
it's a combination of that, and we want, like, they've moved pace of play so much over the past couple of years, the pitch clock and everything. It's like, don't slow that down just to get a call right. And they found out a way, just like tennis, like VAR does not disrupt tennis matches.
And it's been in tennis for how long?
It's I don't know how long, but it's
years,
been
right?
Years,
and it's something that they've done for a long time. And if tennis can do it, then why not? Why not baseball? And now I think that football should do it too, especially with we don't want these referees with the little index card measuring first downs, or because Now
Yep.
we have the ability to see the size of the football, where the football exactly is when the player gets down on contact. Why not use it for the NFL as well? And they started using it a little bit last year.
Yep. The minors did. I know that for sure. And for the record, VAR was brought to the majors in 2023. So there were minor tournaments in tennis that picked it up going all the way back to 2019. So technology's been there for a while. But I'm glad that baseball is, there was nothing as perfect as 2020 baseball in the arcade. The robots knew what a strike was and they knew what a ball was.
Exactly. But yeah, I think it's great for baseball. Now
Yep.
we'll see what happens after this year with the lockout and looming. Hopefully there is no lockout, but I doubt that there is not going to
Yeah.
be one.
No.
But you never know. So I'm enjoying it. The Braves are 3-1. I don't know if the Marlins played, but I know they were
Marlins
3
played
and 0.
today and they lost.
Okay, so
They
they're tied.
lost
9-4.
9-4.
I think
the
everybody in
Sox.
the division lost one game so far. So,
Funny stat. The NL East this year was the first division to start off the season. Every team 1-0.
that's crazy. And it's going to be a competitive division. A competitive division. The the Nationals are young. They're hungry. They got better. The Marlins have gotten better. The Braves are healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets, we'll see what the Mets do. And
They
of course,
spent
the
money.
Phillies. They spend money. The Phillies spend money as well. So, those two are going to be the top teams. So, I think it's going to be one of the most competitive divisions in the league.
Yeah. AL East, I think, is going to be competitive too, just because the cream
Oh, it's
usually
always
rises to the
competitive,
top.
right?
Cream
The
always
Rays
usually
are
rises to
always they're always in contention, right?
There's usually some separation by the end of the season, but towards the beginning, everybody's always muddled with each other. The Yankees had a good weekend. They didn't allow a run the first two games of the season, and then one against the Giants. I don't know. I can get started about interleague play, but I missed that. I missed that section of the middle of the season. Never had to worry about going to San Francisco to start the season. It was either Boston or Baltimore or Toronto or New York. But that's neither here nor there.
No, it should be fun. Can't wait.
If
I
we have
know.
expansion, we should separate the teams again, and there should be interleague play for 2 months in the summer.
Yes, so I know they're thinking about an expansion team, two expansion teams, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting how they separate the divisions, though.
I'm gonna guess that there's a chance I would say the Mets or Marlins are gonna leave the NL East. I think it'll either go more north or it'll go more south. The
Okay.
NL East. Because if they end up doing 4 divisions, north, south, east, west.
I think that the Marlins will be on the south. They have to be. I mean, and then there'll be a north. So then the Braves will be with the Marlins and whatever team is left. So we'll see.
We got a chat that Radko got his ass beat.
I think he didn't take a punch, so
Didn't throw a punch.
which means he was taking it for the team.
Against Domi, yeah, I can expect that.
Yeah, I think for that incident that happened with Austin Matthews. So,
Tomorrow, Senators in Florida.
Yep. So Matthew and Brady,
and we're done.
Say that again.
We lose, and now it's mathematical that the Panthers are done.
Hey, I know we don't like talk losing, but we do want that draft pick.
Number 5 right now.
I was a little nervous the other day, though. It was a close game.
I got to tell you, I wasn't nervous at the Rangers game.
You were at the Rangers game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy. I I was sitting on, the Panthers shoot twice side. So,
Shout
it
out
felt
to
like both.
Rob Peterson as well, right?
I did not see him there, but yeah, I saw that he had a presence. Um, that it felt like it was patty cake for 2 periods. Like neither team wanted to win. And then all of a sudden, the Rangers have more to lose by winning. So,
Which is
so
kind of weird. Like,
it
you
was a
would think
weird
that
game
they
to it.
wanted
It
to
was weird.
lose, right? But I guess as an athlete, you don't really want to lose.
No.
So as a player, you want to be able to win, no matter what the situation is. But
That's why that decision is taken out of the coach's hands when you shut players down and stuff like that. The front office is going to shut players down, and you know, coach doesn't have any reason to not be competitive.
oh, it looks like Josh Diehard will be there. I will be there too, Diehard. So hopefully we can meet during the intermission. Hit me up on X. I will be sure to answer you this time. But yeah, I will be at the game tomorrow. Brady Kachuk in town. Ended up recording Wingman's podcast with their dad today at his home. Go check out that episode. It was a really good one.
I'm sure that was totally unhinged.
Totally unhinged. They actually gave credit to Tortorella, which was interesting.
So Stephen A made a joke a long time ago when Tortorella was the U.S. coach, that this ain't the United States of Tortorella, and it now seems that with all of the coaching positions he has, it truly is the United States of Tortorella, because he pretty much has put his foot down in most of the hockey states.
He's been all the way to the west now. He's been to the east, northeast, the south. I mean, I would agree. The United States of Tortorella.
I thought it was a weird move with 8 games left in the season.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's the wrong move. I'm just saying it's a weird move with 8 games left.
It is, but I think that we've all known that Vegas does unhinged things. This is an organization that is not afraid to do, and they don't care what the NHL thinks. They don't care what the public thinks. They don't care what anybody else thinks. They're going to do what's best for the franchise. And I honestly think it's a great move, because although Tortorella in his last stint with Philadelphia wasn't a good one, he had a lot of young players. Tortorella is not the type of coach you want when you have a young team. You want him to be there when you have a veteran team, a team that is ready to win now. And, I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to implement his defensive style, which they've been struggling. They've been struggling on defense. They've acquired a lot of defensemen. They've acquired a goaltender. They haven't been panning out. And the organization's like, you know what? We need to do something. So, damn if it works and damn if it doesn't,
it's a low risk move. It's an established guy. I mean, there's been plenty of questions as for a lot of coaches, why did the Panthers call Paul Maurice when he's fishing? Like, why did they do that? Tortorella, I know he was still on the game, like he was still an assistant. But it's like, these guys are lifers for a reason. Which it's just surprising that there's not more coaches at the 2000 mark, because it's a carousel, like the coaching in hockey.
It is. And what a great moment for Coach Maurice to get that win. What an honor for him.
That was a nice little bit. He seemed like he didn't want it, but that was
and that's just the way he is.
That's the way he is. Yep.
It's like not about me. It's not about the accolades that I've done or that I've accomplished. It's all about the team. And just talking to his son, Jake Maurice, quick story, you can see what a genuine person Coach Maurice is, the way he brought up his kids. I went to an Everblades game a few months ago and got to meet with Jake Maurice after the game, took pictures, was on the ice with
Nice.
the players, and he invited me to dinner. So, for him
Nice.
to do that, I wasn't able to go that night, but we ended up eating lunch the next day. And, that was really special. He didn't have to do that. And you could kind of tell, like, you know what? This kid was brought up right. And it all starts from the top. And you can see what great, amazing people they are.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 years in a row where he's up there. He's talking about his family more than he is talking about hockey. I'm talking about Paul, obviously.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's talking about his cats more than he's talking about hockey. And if you
Yep.
respect your cats at home, I know you're a good person.
Exactly. RC with this question: in which
Yeah.
sport can a late season head coach / manager
Ooh.
change have the best chance in an ending in a championship postseason?
I
Has
would
there
say
ever been one? I can't. I mean, if you
there
know
has to be
RC,
there has to be some comps with soccer. I would say soccer is probably one of them. If they
that's
change the
the most.
manager
I think soccer's the
at a
most
national
known
level, I mean,
sport that actually does more in season uh changes, right?
yep,
Um,
footy.
hmm,
Yeah,
yeah,
because baseball, you're not going to do it.
no,
Football, you're not going to do it.
unless especially when you're in the playoffs. I don't think it's ever been done in baseball. I could be wrong.
I mean,
Uh,
before this week, I would have said hockey. There's no, I don't think that's going to happen.
it
But
did happen once in New Jersey a few years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I believe. It did happen in New Jersey, where they ended up going to the Stanley Cup that year, but they lost it. Um, so this is the second time it's happened in hockey. So, but yeah, I don't know.
so I would say best chance. I would say at the national level, European soccer,
Yeah,
because I think there's a lot of know-how, and I'm not an expert, but I do believe that there's a there's quite a pipeline for coaching and managing in soccer, and I think
yeah.
that's probably because it's definitely not football. It's definitely not baseball.
There's just too little games in football for it to actually happen. I unless like there's like a situation that would happen like outside or a coach gets arrested or I could see that happening, but not when the player ends up or a coach ends up being in the playoff run and then all of a sudden gets the axe. Uh, that's a good question. What year was that? RC, did the Penguins win after the late change? I don't remember that change. You would have to go back and see. JP, can you do the
I'm working
research?
on it. I think so. Did they go back to back in 16, 17?
I believe so.
Because I think they got rid of their coach after the second championship. Let me look into that. This is a segment we call reading.
Right? RC is getting us on our toes here.
So they okay. So they okay. Penguins have a history of successful late or mid-season coaching changes, having won the Stanley Cups after firing their coach during the season in 09 and in 16.
So they've done it twice.
Yes,
And they won both cups.
looks like it.
Wow. RC's on the ball, man. RC. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, so it's not something that's unknown in the hockey world, I guess. But yeah, I think maybe this late of the season, I don't think it's ever happened this late. We
8
got
games
like
left.
8, 9 games left. So yeah, it's definitely interesting, and they got 2 weeks to see what happens, and you know, I think it's they want to win it all this year, so we'll see what happens.
Wow. Okay, so the Penguins one was it was 59 games into the season the
Okay,
first
so it's
time,
not that okay. That's
and
not
then it was
too bad.
28 games. So definitely not this late.
Yeah, so this is the first time ever this late, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wow. Wow, I'm watching the fight with Gudis, and he did not throw a punch. He just grabbed him, and that's it.
Yeah, so Domi got the best of them.
Yeah, but I don't think Gudis wanted to throw a punch. But interesting. Anyways, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Next week we either gonna go live for the NCAA championship, or we'll have an episode earlier before the championship. We'll let you guys know. Keep in tune. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Shouts out to Lauren. I'll put all her details on the description in this YouTube page, and check her page out on Instagram. She's a great person to follow. Great artwork. It was a pleasure having her. JP, thank you again for being my co-host here. Can't wait to follow you guys all. And like I always say, one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time. Let's go.